of national networks and good practices in our policy network. As Kathy mentioned this morning, one of the main objectives of our network is to facilitate knowledge exchange between different stakeholders, practitioners, researchers, and policymakers. And there have been various knowledge sharing and knowledge management activities taking place since the beginning of the project, since 2011. One of them was promoting, enhancing, building national networks. So as Mr. Delgado said, this is a network of networks, and we have a lot of national networks in the countries. So first, Adél will speak very shortly about what is going on in national networking. The other pillar of knowledge management activities that started at the beginning of the project is online knowledge sharing activities. It was practically webinars and online forums. And we will continue these activities, and the first webinar is going to be in November, and you will be soon informed about the program for this year. And there is a new element this year, and this is collecting good practices from our countries that contribute to enhancing equity and learning. Various good practices on school leadership, and the goal is to report on these good practices in the form of case studies, to learn from each other and to reflect on the transferability and the possibilities of implementation of these practices. So, let us first say a few words about national networks, and then we are going to focus on the case studies.
Thank you. There are different approaches towards networking in the partner countries. Last year we could identify two major trends. On one hand, there is the push approach, which means that a certain topic will be introduced into the national context that is coming from EPNoSL research or EPNoSL understandings. So it's a kind of injection of a new theme. And on the other hand, there is the pull approach, which means that a theme or a topic is emerging from the stakeholders' needs in the respective country, and they try to relate this to EPNoSL findings. Now I would like to give you a short overview on activities. We asked partners to provide us with information about their plans for networking activities, and we learned from the responses that there are 16 countries where there is an active networking, and we also could find out that there are three main categories where we can find the top three of the topics, the most popular types of activities, and the most popular or the most often planned types of outcomes, which are as follows. Firstly, for topics we found that the three most popular topics are for the activities educating school leaders, distributed leadership, and autonomy. Of course, these topics are not distinct, so this only means that the activity focuses more on one or the other topic, but other topics are represented as well. Activities are realized in different ways. So the most often planned activity is to inform the network about the work of EPNoSL or to share resources of EPNoSL, but organizing an event remains still quite popular activity, and a lot of partners plan to or have already organized a workshop or a conference in their countries. The majority of the partners plan to produce at the end a summary of the events with the analysis of the given topic, or they would like to comply a set of implications for policy, or thirdly, they would like to produce a summary of lessons learned. I have time only to mention a few or a couple of examples of national networking. For example, the work of EPNoSL was presented at the conference of Belmas in July. Several partners attended the conference and they presented on their work, and they also engaged themselves in the discussion with the audience. Or the second National EPNoSL Conference was held in Berlin on the 18th and 19th of September, where also several partners participated and contributed to the conference. Of course, this doesn't mean that other countries are not doing anything. This means that only I pointed out these examples. There have been a lot of meetings with different stakeholder groups, and national and international verticals have been collected, for example, as well. As for the upcoming events, I also would like to mention some of them. For example, in Slovenia, there will be in October or in November a national workshop, or Portugal is planning their conference for the national network in March, and they intend to invite national and international experts as well. And we in Hungary also plan to organize a workshop in April. Just a few words about regional networking. We have the information that there is a close cooperation between Sweden, Denmark and Finland. They organize common events, and they plan common research, and they plan to produce common reports. Also, Austria and Germany is cooperating actively together. They also plan to organize common events, and they would like to formulate recommendations for policy. So I think this is so far about national networking, and I give the floor again to Nora, who will introduce a little bit the case studies. Thank you.
Thank you. So we collected 16 proposals for good practices at the national level, many of which are now being developed into case study reports. Here again, of course, these topics overlap, so it's difficult to categorize them in one or the other of these topics. But let's say that the most popular ones were the ones displayed, educating school leaders, distributed leadership, autonomy, etc. And now we are going to present 5 of these good practices, as I said. So this is not all that are being developed. There is ongoing work in Germany, in Hungary, and in many other countries. So we just picked 5 now to give you an idea of this work and to let us engage in discussions in connection with these good practices. So I would first like to ask Ana Paula Silva from the Lusofona University to come and speak about the Portuguese good practice.